Hello, I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to attend this talk. The title is Learning Spatial Relationships Between Samples of Pattern Image Shapes, and this is work that was conducted at Los Alamos National Labs. The process of writing and filing for patents includes searching for the relevant prior art to find similarities or distinguishing innovations of inventions. In current systems, how it actually works is that a patent attorney performs text searches of prior art from which he further visually inspects similarities between the query results. I actually went to the United States Patent and Trademark Office website and I found in the patent design description that the most important element of the patent application is actually the drawing disclosure. Yet, current systems are based on text, and so the image information is not exploited. So I think there's a lot of things, of gains that could be achieved by developing systems that can actually exploit such an information. However, there are some difficulties associated with achieving this, mainly the image generation mechanism. This includes like the presence of multiple components in pattern images, the viewpoint variations, the drawing style of the artisan, and another one is that the image of patent documents is actually characterized to be binary. Given this, the focus of this work is on learning-based methods to classify and retrieve patent documents based on images. These aiming towards efficiently disentangling performance from the potential variations in the image generation mechanisms. The idea is simple, it's just to analyze shapes instead of the image texture and learning geometrical features characterizing those shapes. This is just wanted to note that this is an extension of a pre-sequel work where the method consists on sampling image shapes and then learning the spatial relationships between sample points. The method by which we sample pattern images is mini-batch k-means by Scully 2010. Here, a sample image point corresponds to a cluster centroid. Such an algorithm is orders of magnitude more computationally efficient than standard k-means, and the optimization is carried out by stochastic gradient descent. The method by which we learn spatial relationships between image sample points is the dynamic graph CNN developed by Wang et al. In 2019 and which was originally developed for point cloud classification. Such a network can dynamically learn the meaningful spatial relationships at each layer characterizing the shapes. Figure 4 here is just an illustration of the architecture, and the graph under the blue rectangle shows nodes and the edge connections, which are actually dynamically assigned according to the k nearest neighborhood in the feature space. The set of experiments to validate our method consists on a classification task against data transformations plausibly influencing the pattern image generation mechanism. First one we try is on the eminence data set, just because it's simple for transformation manipulations. Here we want to show first that standard ZNNs cannot cope well with data transformations in the absence of representative data. This is key and important to us because we would like to be able to learn features invariant to data transformations, even in the absence of data subjected to such transformations. We include here two experimental cases. One, when training examples include images subjected to the corresponding transformations, and two, when the training data set does not include examples of the transformed data. Table 1 here summarizes our results. First column just indicates the transformation. Second column corresponds to the performance of the Linnet 5. And the third column is the performance of the proposed method. The first row under each transformation corresponds to the data set when it does not include examples of the transformed data. And the second row for each transformation corresponds to a retraining of the entire architecture, where the training data set includes data representative of the transformation. So we did this for scaling, rotation, translation, all scaling, rotation, and translation simultaneously, and binary inversion. The rotation is drawn from a uniform distribution between minus 90 and plus 90 degree rotation. The translation between minus plus 9 pixels, and translations between 0.2 and 1 for scaling. So we do note that the proposed method is able to remain more or less invariant to the aforementioned transformations, and achieves the best results in comparison to the Linnet, which is less invariant to such transformations when the training data set does not include representative data. The last experiment is performed on a classification test evaluated on the CLEF IP9 class dataset, which includes images from a varying viewpoint. It has images also that contain the presence of cross-class components and style, and this is at the discretion. All these are at the discretion of the patent artist to highlight specific aspects of the inventions. We tested against, we compared against different methods. The Linnet 5, the more sophisticated ResNet, and then we compared against state-of-the-art on these particular data set, which is Fisher vectors followed by support vector machines. So figure 6 is just a representative example of each of the classes: drawing, flowchart, graph, symbol, program, table, math, chem, and gene sequence. And table 2 just shows the performance on the classification test for this data set. We note here that our method beats the state-of-the-art, which is Fisher vector plus support vector machine. So it seems to better cope with the plausible variations in the image generation mechanism, and it essentially outperforms the compared methods. I would like to conclude this talk by stating that our results show that the proposed method outperforms state-of-the-art and traditional neural network methods analyzing texture, and that we're looking right now into ways in which we can even further improve our existing results. Here I just include a list of references, and if there is time, I am open for questions. Thank you all.